Welcome back, dreamers. Tonight we journey beyond the clouds, beyond the stars, to a place high above the world you know, where a gentle, glowing presence watches every night, but never sleeps, never dreams, until now. This is the story of the moon, and how she learned to dream. The moon had always known silence. Above the spinning earth, she floated with quiet grace, her silvery face gazing down night after night. She didn't rise or set. That was Earth's doing. She didn't sleep or wake. She simply was. The stars, they glittered like laughter in the dark, busy and distant. But the moon, she was still, always watching, always glowing, always alone. She had no name for herself, no past, only the pull of gravity in the hush of space. But oh, how she watched, the ocean sighing beneath her, the forest breathing slowly, the children turning in their beds, eyes fluttering, mouths whispering, stories only sleep could understand. She watched lovers holding hands under her glow, old men staring at her with distant smiles, poets writing verses they'd never read aloud. They looked at her as if they knew her, but she didn't know herself. Why do they gaze at me like that? She wondered. What do they see that I cannot feel? And for the first time, a question echoed inside her. What is it like to dream? At night, as Earth turned and the skies deepened, the moon began to listen. Not just to the sounds of wind or waves, but to the murmurs hidden inside the hush. They came gently, like feathers, whispers, rising through rooftops, lullabies half sung, wishes made on sleepy stars. A little girl whispering, "I wish I could fly." A mother kissing a forehead, whispering, "You are safe now." A lonely boy staring at the ceiling saying, "I miss you, Dad." And the moon, for the first time, felt something stir inside her glow. Not light, not warmth, but feeling. She didn't know what these feelings were called. They had no shape, but they moved her. They stayed with her after the night passed. They echoed in the empty sky, like dreams, waiting to be understood. One night, she turned her gaze to the sea. The ocean, her oldest companion, shimmered under her light. And the tides, they always listened to her. So she spoke, not with words, she had none, but with presence, a low, glowing pull, a silent question. And the ocean answered, with memory. He showed her waves that had seen the world, ships that had carried promises, children who ran to the shore and wrote names in the sand. They dream, the ocean whispered. Even when they sleep, they are alive inside. And me, asked the moon, you watch them dream, but you do not enter. Not yet. The moon's light dimmed for just a moment. A sadness she could not name settled within her. How can I learn? She asked the sea. But the ocean only returned her pull with waves. You must listen, he said. Listen long enough, and the dreams will come to you. Later that same night, far below in a quiet village, something shimmered. Not on Earth, but above it. A golden flicker, drifting upward. The moon leaned closer. It was small, soft, glowing like a lantern. Not a soul, not a star. A dream, a child's dream, released into the sky like a balloon. The moon followed it, curious. Inside it, she saw flickers of laughter, of a flying kite, of a bear who could talk, of stars that sang lullabies. And for the briefest moment, the moon felt weightless, as if she too were inside the dream, flying, floating, feeling. But just as suddenly, it vanished. The dream blinked out. Gone. Wait, the moon whispered. Come back. But it was too late. Still, something remained. A flicker in her heart, a warmth in her glow, a beginning. She watched Earth a little differently now. She listened harder, waited longer. Not just for voices, but for feelings. She saw dreams like trails of light rising into the sky. each one different, each one beautiful. She began to collect them, not to keep, just to understand. She still couldn't dream, but she now wanted to. And sometimes wanting is the first dream of. Last time, the moon listened, and something whispered back. Not in words, not in sounds, but in feeling. Tonight, she listens deeper. She hears the things we never say aloud, the whispers from below, from our hearts, our hopes, our sleeping souls. Each night, the moon opened her silence a little wider. She drifted above sleeping rooftops and empty fields, letting her glow soften, her silence deepen. And the more still she became, the more she heard. Not voices, not noise, but whispers, gentle, broken, like pages half read. Songs with missing verses. She didn't understand their meanings, but she felt their weight. I wish I had said goodbye. Please, just one more night like that. Do you still remember me? What happens to a dream when no one dreams it anymore? They came from everywhere. From the cities where lights stayed on too long, from the forests where no one walked anymore, from the windows cracked just slightly open, as if inviting the night to listen. The moon didn't collect these whispers on purpose. They simply found her. The moon began to drift lower in the sky each night, not in distance, but in feeling. She leaned closer to earth. Her light grew softer, and the whispers came faster. She gathered them in her silver silence, folded them into the corners of her glow, carried them like small feathers pressed against her soul. A child's forgotten lullaby, a widow's silent prayer, a painter's last dream left unfinished on a canvas. Why do they send these to me? She wondered. What do they want me to do with them? But the moon had no answers, only echoes. And they were beautiful, in a quiet, aching way. She didn't keep the whispers, but she remembered them. And in remembering, she began to change. The whispers grew loud. Too many dreams, too many longings, too many hearts reaching upward, and nowhere else to go. The moon dimmed. She couldn't hold them all. A father dreaming of his child, now gone. A lost soldier whispering for home. A girl dreaming of a version of herself that could have been. They pressed against her light like waves against a shore. I can't carry them, she thought, but I don't want to let them fall. She cried. But the moon's tears don't fall, they shine. And that night, the stars twinkled a little brighter. Not out of joy, but in solidarity. Even the sky had begun to feel. Then, she heard a voice. Clear, sharp, different from the others. It wasn't a whisper. It was a memory. A boy, maybe 10 years old. Dear moon, he said aloud in his dream. I know you can hear me. I see you every night. You're the only one who always comes back. The moon froze in the sky. I'm scared to grow up, he said, because I think when I grow up, I'll stop dreaming, like they did. The moon's glow flickered. If you learn how to dream, the boy whispered, will you keep one safe for me? Silence. Just one? He asked softly. The moon didn't know how to answer. But for the first time, she wanted to promise something. She leaned lower. Her light swept over his window, bathing it in silver. Inside, the boy smiled in his sleep. And somewhere in her silence, the moon whispered, yes. The moon had never felt heavy before, but now she did. Not with sorrow, not with pain, with meaning. She carried no body, no heart, and yet something inside her felt full of voices, full of ache, full of gentle, glowing questions. She no longer saw Earth as just Earth. It was a world full of broken pieces stitched together by dreams, and she was their keeper, or perhaps just their mirror. But one thought haunted her. If I hold too many dreams, will I forget who I am? She had never had a self before. Now, She feared losing it. The moon had never known how lonely the night could be until she felt what it held. She had never known what it meant to feel until she held dreams not her own. And though she still could not dream, she now knew what dreaming meant. A reaching, a whisper, a hope. And tonight, as the boy slept beneath her glow and stars twinkled quietly beside her, the moon felt something inside her form. Not light, not silence, but a seed, a dream. Her first. Sleep now, listener. Let your whisper rise. She's listening. She always is. And maybe tonight, she'll dream it with you. Last night, the moon heard a boy's voice and a question. Will you keep a dream safe for me? Tonight, she searches for answers. For someone, anyone, who has held dreams before. And high above the sleeping earth, she finds an old wandering cloud, a keeper of what once was, a vessel of what might be. The moon drifted farther than she ever had, past the humming winds, past the lights of cities, toward the edge of the night where the sky forgets its name. There, wrapped in fog and memory, floated a cloud. Not white, not bright, but soft and silvered, like old lace left in moonlight. It didn't move like other clouds. It drifted with purpose, not pushed, not pulled, just remembering. The moon leaned close. Her glow brushed the cloud gently. It stirred and spoke, not with words, but with weathered warmth. Ah, I wondered when you'd come, it sighed. You've started listening, haven't you? The moon didn't know how to reply. She pulsed gently, her way of asking. You've gathered whispers, said the cloud. That's how it begins. That's how it always begins. The moon pulsed again, brighter now. I once carried dreams, the cloud continued. Not my own, of course. I'm only sky stuff. But children, oh, children used to send them to me. They would tie them to balloons, float them in kites, tuck them under pillows. I'd collect them, drift across rooftops, and place them in sleeping minds like seeds. But then, he paused. They stopped. The moon dimmed. She wanted to ask, why? Because they grew up, the cloud whispered. The cloud was old. Its edges were soft, frayed like pages turned too many times. I carry one dream left, it said. Just one. I've held it too long. It was never meant to be mine. It was meant to be planted and grown and remembered. The moon leaned closer. She pulsed. Please. The cloud unwrapped the dream. It was glowing, faint, like a candle in fog. A girl, said the cloud. She dreamed of a garden, a secret place where forgotten things bloomed. She dreamed of seeds that turned into songs, rocks that whispered stories, and a tree that never lost its leaves. She called it the memory garden. And as the dream unspooled, the moon saw it. In her glow, the dream came alive. A garden lit by fireflies, books blooming from branches, a swing that whispered lullabies when the wind passed. The moon hovered in awe. She felt warmth. She felt wonder. She inside it. She was no longer watching a dream. She was within one. Take it, said the cloud. It's not mine to keep. And I'm tired. The moon hesitated. What if I break it? She pulsed. Then it was never meant to last, whispered the cloud. But if you carry it, it might bloom again. So, gently, the moon wrapped the dream in her light. It pulsed once, twice, then vanished into her. Not destroyed, not dimmed, planted. And something inside the moon bloomed. Not memory, not thought, but feeling. A warmth, a sadness, a joy too wide to name. She pulsed softly. Thank you. The cloud shimmered. Goodbye, silver one, he sighed. May you find your own garden someday. And with a final breeze, the dream keeper's cloud drifted into starlight. and was gone. The moon was no longer just light. She now held something ancient, something tender, a dream that didn't belong to her, but now lived within her. She had felt it, touched it, wandered inside its impossible garden. And now, in her glow, others could feel it too. She drifted across the sleeping world, her light falling like petals. And as it touched windows and forests and waves, somewhere a little girl stirred and dreamed again of her garden. And the moon, for the first time, she smiled. Close your eyes, dear listener. What garden waits inside you? Let the moon find it. Let her carry it. Let her remember it until you're ready to dream it again. Last night, the moon carried her first dream, and in that dream, she bloomed. But a question still echoed within her. Where do the dreams go when no one remembers them? So she turned to the one who had always listened, the one who pulled her gently every night, and who whispered without words. Tonight, the moon visits the sea, and the sea remembers everything. That night, the moon pulled herself low, lower than ever before. Her light shimmered across the dark waves, kissing the crests with quiet longing. The tide rose in answer, not rushed, not loud, but as if it had been waiting. The ocean, vast and ancient, stirred beneath her. And though he had no mouth, his voice rumbled softly across the world. You've come, little light. You carry more now than glow. The moon pulsed gently in reply. I carry a dream, but I don't know how to keep it. The ocean swelled slowly. Then let me show you what dreams become when time forgets them. The ocean opened not in waves, but in memory. And the moon saw below the surface, not sand, not coral, but fragments, glowing pieces of forgotten dreams. A sailor's wish to fly, a dancer's final pirouette, a lullaby no longer sung. A name whispered once in a storm and never again. They drifted beneath the sea like shipwrecks, still, silent, shimmering faintly. Every dream that's abandoned, said the ocean, finds its way to me. The moon dimmed. Do they die here? She asked. The ocean paused. No, he said, they sleep. The ocean told her of the first dream he ever held, from a child who dreamed of turning into a wave. He dove into the sea one day, said the ocean, laughed, shouted, spun like foam. And as he left, he whispered, I want to come back one day, as you. And ever since, every time the tide rose at that same beach, it carried that boy's laughter with it. You see, the sea said, dreams don't vanish, they ripple. The moon watched the surface shimmer. She had thought she was the collector, but the ocean had been remembering long before her. The moon looked down and saw herself reflected, not as light, but as something else. She saw herself carrying whispers, memories, pieces, a mirror, a vessel. You don't shine because of the sun, the ocean whispered. You shine because of what you hold. You reflect not light, but longing. The moon stilled. No longer did she want to be a dreamer. She wanted to be something deeper, a keeper, a gardener, a singer of echoes. The ocean rose suddenly, one wave larger than the rest, and in it floated a glowing thread, a dream, ancient, still pulsing. The moon reached down. It wrapped itself around her glow, delicate but persistent. This, said the sea, is the dream of a nameless one. No one remembers them, but I do. And now, so will you. The moon held the thread, and in that moment, she wept, not in tears, but in tides. The ocean rose, and with it so did the past. And for one night, the world dreamt as one. The moon left the ocean with more than memory. She carried his oldest dream, his softest sorrow, his deepest truth. Dreams are not lost. They are layered, echoed, carried. And the moon, She now glows with the ones no one else recalls. Tonight, as you close your eyes, listen. There is a sound in the hush between waves. It is a name you forgot, a place you left behind, a dream that remembers you. Sleep well, dreamer. Let the sea carry you home. Last night, the moon learned that dreams don't disappear. They wait, they echo, they sleep inside the sea. But one dream still calls to her, faint, flickering, alone. Tonight, the moon follows the last child's dream, a dream almost forgotten, by a heart that once believed in everything, and now believes in nothing. Smaller than any dream she had ever seen. So dim, she almost missed it. A single golden speck, caught in the curve of a city rooftop, trembling. The moon drifted closer. It didn't rise like other dreams. It stayed low, almost hiding. It pulsed, very faintly. "Who do you belong to?" she whispered in light. The dream shivered and opened like a lock unclicking. Inside there was emptiness. In a single soft voice, "I don't dream anymore." Dream belonged to a boy, 8 years old, brown eyes, slippers too small. He sat in his bed staring at the ceiling. His room was filled with things he once loved: a rocket lamp, books with dragons, glow-in-the-dark stars on the wall. But now, he didn't see them. "There's no point," he whispered. "Nothing's real." The moon hovered outside his window. She glowed gently, tried to speak, but he had already stopped listening to the sky. "I used to dream I could fly," he said. "Now I dream nothing." The moon felt her glow flicker. She wanted to give him a dream. But how? For the first time, the moon didn't just reflect the dream. She entered it. The golden thread wrapped around her silver light and pulled. Suddenly, she was inside, not floating above, but within. The boy's dream was a house. Silent, dusty. The windows were shut. The garden, dry. The stars on the ceiling had all peeled off. She wandered through his dream, room to room. Every door was closed. Every hallway echoed nothing. Until she heard something. A sound, small, like a paper airplane being thrown. She followed it. She found a room behind a door the boy had sealed. Inside his Hawaii was color. Crayon drawings, imaginary creatures, clouds with faces, a cardboard telescope. This, she whispered, was where he believed. But the dream was fading. The roof cracked. The light dimmed. She pulsed. "Don't go." The paper airplane floated toward her. On it, a message. "If you can dream, then so can I." And then the boy entered. In his dream, in his forgotten self. He looked older, but confused. "I thought this was gone," he said. "I thought I wasn't allowed to come back." The moon didn't speak. She simply glowed. The boy stared at her and smiled. "You came back," he said softly. Together they sat in the dream, in the garden that once grew stars, and the moon pulsed gently. "You never stopped dreaming. You only forgot how it felt." The boy closed his eyes, and the dream grew warmer. Color returned. The telescope pointed upward, and he whispered, "I remember now." The moon left that night with something new. Not just a dream, but a piece of herself. She had not only seen a dream, she had felt one, lived one. And in doing so, she understood. Dreams aren't made of stars. They're made of memory and love. She floated back into the night sky, her glow softer, fuller. And far below, a boy opened his eyes, smiled, and whispered, "Thank you, moon." For ages, the moon had only watched. She reflected. She glowed. She listened. But never did she dream. Until now, This is the final chapter. The night the moon stopped being only a light in the sky and became something more. That night she said nothing. No glow, no pull. She drifted behind clouds. And in that stillness, she looked inward. Inside her were a lullaby humming like waves, a golden thread wrapped in memory, a dream of a garden, a boy's forgotten voice, a cloud's last gift, the sea's echo. She was no longer just made of dust and light. She was made of longing, and longing becomes dreaming. But she didn't know how to dream. Not fully. Do I let go of being the moon? Do I disappear to feel what they feel? She was scared. But sometimes, letting go is the only way to arrive. After the boy's dream, the moon changed. She rose above the earth as always, but she felt different, heavy, full, not with light, but with all the dreams she had held, the sadness, the joy, the whispers, the echoes, the gardens. She no longer glowed the same. Her light was softer, more human. And for the first time ever, she asked herself, am I still the moon? One night, the sky grew darker than ever before. No stars, no winds, no waves, only silence. And then it began. From the core of the moon, something pulsed, not with a light, but with feeling. Every whisper she'd ever gathered began to hum. The dream of the girl with the memory garden, the lullaby carried by the cloud, the sea's waves of remembering, the boy's quiet voice. Will you keep a dream for me? All of it swirled inside her, and she surrendered. She didn't try to shine, or pull tides, or reflect the sun. She closed her eyes and let go. She dreamed, truly, completely. And in her dream, she was not the moon. She was a child walking barefoot in the memory garden. She touched books that whispered her name. She swung from stars made of paper. She was the sea laughing like the boy once did. She was the cloud drifting with old lullabies. She was the window waiting to be looked through. And then she was herself, but not empty, not silent, full. When the moon opened her eyes, the sky had changed. It was softer, wider, listening. The stars leaned closer. The earth sighed gently. Even the ocean looked up and smiled. And far below, a girl stirred in her bed, rolled over, and smiled. I dreamed the moon was holding my hand, she mumbled. Even after learning to dream, the moon still had questions, still had silences. But in one quiet night, she found someone older than even herself. A star forgotten in the corners of the sky. A star who had once dreamed, but had not in 1,000 years. The moon had begun to wander not just above Earth, but beyond, into deeper skies, where even time moves slower. There, at the edge of space, she saw it. A flicker, dim, like a memory refusing to fade. She drifted closer. It was a star, old, faint, quiet. Why do you hide? The moon asked gently. The star didn't answer at first. It just pulsed, once, weakly. Because I have no stories left, the star finally said. No one looks at me anymore. I gave all my dreams away. The star told her stories, of when it once burned brighter than any other, of when people made wishes on it, of when it saw children laugh in candlelight, of songs it heard drifting up from desert tents. But now, it was only dust and flicker. What is a dream when no one remembers it? The star whispered. The moon grew quiet. Then she said softly, it becomes a part of someone else's dream. She closed her eyes and reached inward and offered the stars something glowing, gentle, a thread of the boy's dream, a petal from the memory garden, a drop of ocean longing, a heartbeat from the cloud. The star trembled and then smiled. The moon taught the star what she had learned, how silence holds stories, how watching leads to feeling, how dreaming is not just wishing, it's remembering and giving. The star listened, and something stirred in it, a tiny flare, a new kind of warmth, not heat, but hope. Will they dream of me again? The star asked. Only if you begin dreaming of them first, said the moon. And for the first time in a millennium, the star dreamed. Far below, a child looking from a window whispered, "Look, Mama, that star is blinking at me." And somewhere a lost dream fluttered back into a painter's heart. A forgotten poem rewrote itself. A song found its singer. All because the star had remembered how to feel, and the moon had taught it how. The sky changed that night. Not loudly, not suddenly, but deeply. The moon drifts on, still glowing, now not just with borrowed light, but with stories and souls and dreams. And that star, it twinkles, not for attention, but as a quiet thank you to the one who reminded it that to shine is beautiful, but to dream is divine. So sleep gently tonight. The moon and the star are dreaming again, together, and they're watching over you. Before we sleep, let's return once more to the sky, to the moon, to the dream that became real just by being remembered. Stories end, but dreams, they echo, and echoes remember. Above the quiet world, the moon glows. Not too bright, not too far, just enough. Tonight she is silent again, but it's not the silence of loneliness. It is the silence of knowing, of remembering. The boy's lost wish, the garden of memories, the cloud who gave her a gift, the ocean that hummed like time, the star who forgot how to feel. She doesn't need to hold it all anymore. She is all of it. Dreams do not vanish. Even when we wake up, they leave traces. A feeling in your chest you can't name, a tear you didn't expect, a laugh at something you never saw, a stillness that stays with you all day. These are the fingerprints of dreaming. Like how you know the moon has passed, even when you didn't see her. To dream, the moon thinks, is to remember who we truly are, even when we forget. And remembering is a kind of returning. And when the moon dreams again, she does not do it alone. Now others dream with her. The boy now grown, dreaming of a sky that listens. The old cloud drifting in the dreams of children. The girl from the memory garden, writing her own stories. The star blinking with a purpose. And you, yes, you, the one listening, the one resting now. You are part of this dream too. You are remembered, you are heard, you are held. Tonight, you have journeyed far, from light to silence, from silence to longing, from longing to dream. And now is the time to rest, to float into the soft darkness, where dreams wait like old friends. The moon is watching, the stars are listening, and your heart is ready. Sleep well, little dreamer. Remember,